So this video will be my trailer breakdown for the latest trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. Now let's start.
Every night, I dream the same dream.
So in these first 10 seconds, we get Strange waking up from a dream. It looks like that beginning imagery is. And then he's standing in front of a building. This looks like the Sanctum Sanctorum, and we can actually tell from the window at the top. That's the same window that's in the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it's kind of melting away from what we saw New York melt away in the previous trailer and in this trailer, forward in the trailer. Now, this could be the dream, the nightmare that Doctor Strange is having. This could all be taking place a part of the same nightmare, and this could be taking a part of the same sequence. Like this is just the entirety of New York melting away, and it's kind of finishing off with his Sanctorum melting away as well. And then we see a staircase that leads, I mean, it looks like infinitely, but this looks like it's a part of the same shot before where it looked like he was in the Sanctorum and it was kind of like flooding. This kind of looks like that same scene. It's hard to tell exactly what's going on, if this is connected to the scene where New York was melting away and stuff, but this is overall just really cool imagery, so let's continue.
The nightmare begins.
So then we see a quick couple of explosions of an attack happening on Kamar-Taj, and we see this happen a couple of times in the trailer, and then we see America Chavez kind of tied up and bound, and there's a weird-looking monster screaming in her face, and when she screams, she opens up what looks like her star portals behind her that potentially lead to different universes. And then immediately after that as well, we see what is now definitely looks like the Defender Strange variant. In the first official trailer, I thought it was Caecilius because of the ponytail, but obviously that was before the leaked, I should say, of the Defender Strange variant had came out. But now this definitely looks like the Defender Strange variant, and it looks like he is falling through her star portals. And then note that when Strange wakes up, he specifically says, and then the nightmare begins. Nightmare is a very, very famous Doctor Strange villain, and he's actually the very first Doctor Strange villain he ever encountered in the OG comics when Doctor Strange was just a part of the Strange Tales. So it looks like Nightmare is confirmed, more or less, to still potentially be one of the villains in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I did what I had to do to protect our world.
You cannot control everything, Strange.
So in this next little part, we see him casting what looks like chaos magic or something of the sort. It looks like chaos magic, which is Wanda's type of magic, the Scarlet Witch's magic, and he slams it back into a book. Now, this could potentially be the Darkhold. This could be how he's potentially tracking Wanda throughout different multiverses, like she used the Darkhold to cast some sort of magic, and maybe that's just the traces of her magic left behind on the Darkhold, because there's someone in the room with him, but I can't tell if it's the Scarlet Witch herself or if it's America Chavez. But let's continue.
You opened the doorway between universes, and we don't know who or what will walk through it.
Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse?
Viz had his theories. He believed it was dangerous.
He was right.
So in this next series of shots, we see a lot of kind of repeated things that we've seen before. We see America Chavez in the street, presumably running from, Gargantos or Shumagorath. Pick your poison at whichever one it is at this point. I feel like we're not going to really know until the movie comes out. But then we see a shot of a cloud looming towards Kamar-Taj, and we actually see a shot of the sorcerer Rin-Tra, it looks like. Now, Rin-Tra is kind of like, he's basically a minotaur, and he is a sorcerer that encounters Doctor Strange in the comics. I definitely don't know if I believe that Rin-Tra will be an important role in this movie or not, but it's definitely just a cool call out because he's definitely that minotaur that's in the trailer. Like they put effort into making him there, so at the minimum, it's a cool Easter egg that he exists in the universe.
I'm sorry, Stephen. Your desecration of reality. punished.
We should tell him the truth.
Now, I need y'all to listen to me right now. That was 100% for sure Professor X. Like, I am absolutely certain that's Professor X at this point. I'm going to backtrack a little bit just for the previous shots. We get the same shot of what looks like the utopian parallel again, which is where America Chavez, it's like a area outside the multiverse where American Chavez is originally from. I should say it looks like it's potentially the utopian parallel, or it might be what's left of it. That might be like why Doctor Strange is helping America Chavez, because something happened that just messed it up entirely. And then when we continue, we get the same sort of shot of the melting New York, and now we get to one of the biggest reveals of the trailer. So we see Doctor Strange in cuffs, and we see him being escorted in a building. So there are these statues right here. They're very kind of a strange, I don't know what they're necessarily representing, to be honest with you, but they look like metal wings, like a human with metal wings almost, or holding something up with his arms or her arms. But Doctor Strange is being escorted by a group of robots that it could go either way for me, whether those are potentially robots for Ultron or whether or not they are made by a Tony Stark variant. My money right now is on a Tony Stark variant, simply because they escort him to a room with a bunch of people sitting in chairs overseeing him, and one of them is Professor X, Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart. Now, what's really important here is that this 100% to me looks like the Illuminati, and it looks like that this is like the Illuminati headquarters. And the Illuminati in Marvel Comics was a secret group, I should say, just of like the big Marvel elites, like Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Professor X, Reed Richards, Black Panther, and stuff like that. Illuminati has kind of flip-flopped with some characters throughout its history, but basically they were a secret group that formed to protect the interest of Earth and stuff like that. So they would like make unanimous decisions for the betterment of the Earth if there was like a threat that was coming towards their way and stuff like that. So that's what the Illuminati is, and that 100% looks like that's what this is, which is why I'm also impartial to believe these are actually Tony Stark robots, because we might see a Tony Stark variant as a member of the Illuminati with Professor X, Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier. So this right here is what blew me away the most at the trailer. So in this next part, we see Strange falling through a dimension with dinosaurs, it looks like, and then continuing to fall in this area that I believe is at least an area outside of the multiverses with America Chavez. And then we see the same scene with the alternate Doctor Strange. Now, I can't tell if this is Defender Strange or not, or if this is another Doctor Strange variant at this point. I don't think this is the same variant as Defender Strange, and it's going to be interesting to see, because I actually think the evil doctor, or the evil person, I should say, that we see at the end of the trailer was Defender Strange. And I'll pull up a picture of Defender Strange once we get to that point.
Break the rules. Look out! To become a hero. I do it, I become the enemy. It doesn't seem fair.
Okay, so a lot's going on in this next part, right? So what's really interesting about the trailer for me too, it's probably almost as high up there as the Professor X thing, is we see some type of person with Captain Marvel-esque powers fighting the Scarlet Witch, but there are a couple things that are interesting about this. Number one, I can't tell 100% if it is Captain Marvel herself or a Captain Marvel variant. Number two, it could also potentially be Monica Rambeau, Spectrum, that we saw from WandaVision when she got her powers. It could potentially be that too, but what's interesting about this as well, from what I can see, right before the Scarlet Witch gets hit, we see the statue of the Illuminati building in the background. So this fight is taking place inside where the Illuminati was hold, their stronghold, basically. So that was really interesting to see. Also notice that Wanda is not in her Scarlet Witch garb here. She is in a long sleeve and pants. So this could potentially be a different Wanda, the Wanda that we saw holding the other Wanda, the Scarlet Witch's face, in the Westview house, which is a little bit later in the trailer. Then we see more fights at Kamar-Taj. We see Doctor Strange in the street again fighting Shumagorath, Gargantos, pick your poison. And then we see another scene where it looks like a Doctor Strange statue is erected in front of the Sanctum Sanctorum at what looks like almost a post-apocalyptic New York, because all of the buildings around are covered in like moss and grass and stuff, almost evoking a post-apocalyptic feeling to it. And then we see a scene where the Scarlet Witch in her official Scarlet Witch getup is in what looks like to be the Westview house with another Wanda touching her face. Now, it's kind of unclear to me whether this is a Wanda variant, where maybe like the events of Westview were real in a sense, like maybe she was able to have a legitimate family with Vision and stuff like that, or if this is taking place in the past, maybe, to when Wanda did those things in Westview. So it's kind of unclear at this point. Now we have a bunch of rapid shots. Mainly, it looks like there's a big explosion at Kamar-Taj. Then it looks like that fight between Mordo and Strange when Strange is in cuffs. That now looks like it's in the Illuminati building as well, because that's when he got cuffed. We see America Chavez in what looks like an unknown location. I can't really tell. And then we see a giant explosion with somebody flying away from it. Now, when I pause this, it kind of looks like it's the Defender Strange variant to me, in my opinion. Now, it's possible that the Defender Strange could be a Doctor Strange variant that has a seat on the Illuminati. It'll be interesting to see, but this definitely looks like an explosion between what could potentially be that Captain Marvel variant and the Scarlet Witch, because you can see kind of the chaos magic all around, the fire explosion, and then it does look like Defender Strange, if you stop it at the right time, is the one that's flying away from it. And then we see Wanda all bloodied and messed up from, I don't know, doing something, but she's also not in her official Scarlet Witch getup. She's in that same long sleeve and pants outfit that she was in the other scenes, where it kind of looks like they're almost two separate Scarlet Witches. And then finally we see some crazy imagery where it looks like this type of black magic being cast all around, like almost like necromancy. That's what it feels like. And then this person at the end of the trailer looks a lot like Defender Strange to me. That's what's honestly one of the most interesting things about it. And I'm going to put up a picture of the Defender Strange right now, and it is the same type of color robe, the same type of color scheme that the Defender Strange had in the art that had leaked for him. So this is just all very, very interesting to me. Obviously, the best thing about this trailer for me is that we finally have the X-Men, I guess officially in the MCU with this movie, with Professor X at least. So now whether or not it'll be the same Professor X from the Fox movies, or if it'll be a Professor X variant that is kind of separate from those, we're going to have to wait and see. But comment down below if you're excited for Multiverse of Madness. I think it has the potential to be the best Marvel movie of all time. But I appreciate you for watching the video.